Creating an interactive worksheet. Interactive worksheets are great tools for helping with many teaching and life tasks. Microsoft Excel contains many templates, and these templates are simply advanced interactive worksheets. If you go to the File and then New tab and click on Sample Templates, you can see many of these templates that come with Excel. And again, these are simply advanced interactive worksheets. The one that we will create today is a tip calculator. The wonderful thing about these interactive worksheets is that most tablets, smartphones, and of course computers have applications that can play these Excel interactive worksheets. The nice thing is that once you have a simple worksheet like this created, it can do some function for you. In this case, if you're at a restaurant, you're in a rush, trying to hurry up and get out of there, you want to compute the tip. This is a fast way to do it, and you know that you come up with the correct amounts. The version of Microsoft Excel that I'm using today is 2010. Your version may be different, but the functionality should be the same, and the location of some of the buttons might simply be different. So the way we're going to make this simple interactive worksheet is begin by highlighting the background colors, and we will start with column A, and your columns are up top. Your rows are numbered on the left hand side, so we're going to go from A1 down to 16 all the way over to column G, and then simply select the color that you want to use. If you want to get more colors, you can click on the More Colors tab and pick whichever color appeals to you. Maybe I don't like that color, so I want a different one. No worries, just come on up here, find which color that you like and pick it, and there you go. There's a nice new color. Now we need to create it's good to put a title on this, and so we're going to create a title. Simply go to your Insert tab and then come over to Word Art, and then here you can pick whichever word art selection that you like. In this one, we're going to type our title in here, and it will look exactly like that. So I'm going to call this Tip Calculator, and then move this to the top of our background. And now we need to come in here and clear out the area where we want to have the numbers appear, which will go with column C6 all the way down to 11, and then all the way over to column E. Come back up to your fill button and simply drop down here to this no fill box. And then we also need to clear out our interactive cell. In this case, we're going to use cell E14. Now, I know this is E14 because you'll notice that the column heading of E is highlighted as well as row 14. So once again, come back up here to our fill color button and click it, and it will remove the color. Now let's go ahead and put a label down here next to our box, and this label we will put pre-tip bill. Now I like to use symbols because they make it easier to read. Pre-tip bill amount. If you'd like, you can come up here and highlight that and bold it so it makes it a little bit easier to see. That's entirely up to you. And you'll notice in our example, I also put some descriptors over here. This will help make it easier on you deciding how much of a tip to leave. And so we'll put our descriptors on. And hopefully you don't have too many of this one, but we'll start off with poor service, and then okay, average, above average, and great. Now you notice they're kind of all over the place, and so it helps if you'll highlight them and then make sure that if you, like in this case, write justify with this button, it will line them up so that they all look better. And now up top, let's put our column headings, which was this top column will be tip percentage. The next one will be tip amount. And finally, bill amount with tip added in. Again, if you want, highlight them and come up to this B for bold. You can even underline them, and that'll make it a little bit cleaner of a presentation. So our first tip amount, tip percentage for poor is 5, and then 10, 15, 20, and 25. Now the hardest part of this process is putting in these formulas, which is not all that together difficult. But the first formula that we'll put in will be for the poor tip. And so anytime you want to enter in a formula, you always start off with the equal or the summation symbol. We will want to start off with our interactive cell, which is E14, and then multiply that. So put the multiply symbol, and in this case it will be 0.05. Now, one thing you can do is come up and highlight this bottom right hand corner and drag it down, and that will carry your formula all the way down. You'll still need to do some editing because our interactive cell is E14, not E15. That's something that Excel changed automatically. And then we'll come over and change our tip amount to 10% in this case. The next line we will go again E14, and this one will be 15%, E14 and 20%, and then finally E14 and 25%. Now we want to create the column that will show the bill amount with the tip included. So again, we start off with our summation symbol, click your interactive cell of E14, and then in this case we are going to add our column that we just created to it. So again, if you want to come up here, you can click that box in the bottom right corner and drag it down. We'll need to edit our cells one more time. In this case, simply changing it back to our interactive cell of E14 for each row. Now let's check and see if our formula is correct. Let's test our process. Let's say that and it's nice to use a easy to figure amount, so we'll start off with $10. So in this case, if our pre-tip bill is $10, our 5% tip is 50 cents, which would make our total bill $10.50. Let's go on up. Let's say it's a $30 bill. So we come down here into our interactive cell, put in 30, adds everything in there. If it's an awkward amount, which is normally the hard ones to compute, say it's $37.89. Right here it shows you how much a tip would be. If you had great service, your tip would be $9.47 and total bill amount would be $47.36. So that's going to conclude it for this lesson. This is the very basics of an interactive worksheet. Further lessons, we could go on into how to make this stand out and lock in certain cells. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.